current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and
hello worldwide. I'm level bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abakwa sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and you say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app, no, our Play Store and the App Store. Not tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page. And so now listen, about your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Good morning, Ghana. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and thank God it's Friday. You are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is a news headline review. Here we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspective right here on the news headline review. As usual, I remain your host, Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu. And joining me in the studio this morning is my knowledgeable panelists, Miss Regina Bless and Miss W. Adoso. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How is you?
Me is fine.
Oh, good to hear that. I see
you is good.
It's
also?
Me is good. It's me is good.
All right.
I can see you are very excited this morning.
I'm very
Is it because
excited.
It's Friday?
Because it's Friday,
Oh,
baby.
you are gingering up.
And
for
I
the-
have plans set aside for
see
this
that.
weekend.
Oh, nice. That's good to hear.
I wash ya.
Oh, yes. I don't have much to say about that one.
Oh,
I'm not involved.
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity. It's very necessary. You know, life is short.
Yeah.
You're welcome to the news headline review.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you ready for me? Okay. So before we dive into our news items for this morning, yesterday, the minority again walked out of Parliament during the presentation of the mid-year budget review. The walkouts today, now it is like, are you uncountable? What do you make of it? And because it's becoming unbecoming.
As you said, it's becoming unbecoming. When we have a meeting in this great institution, our main duty, we are supposed to be there, we are supposed to be present. If our manager calls for a meeting, we are supposed to be there. If we have any objections, we can make it. If we have any additions, we can make it. But one thing that will make it disrespectful and against the company rules is to walk out of a meeting. So Parliament is an institution where it operates independently on its own.
Right.
And they have a leader. That is Honorable Alban Bagbin.
Right.
He is their leader. First off, these people have disrespected the leader and disrespected the people who voted them into power to represent them. Secondly, their pay. They don't need to be paid this month. Their pay should be directed to Mahama Care Foundation. Because it looks like they are not ready to do what they are supposed to do. They are not ready to do their job well. It is your duty to be there whether you like it or not.
Even if the environment is not conducive.
The petition they went to petition, there were a lot of days ahead or before you or behind you which you could have gone to the Jubilee House to petition it or to send your case.
Right.
But you chose the day that the media budget would be reviewed. You chose that day to boycott Parliament. And they think it's a good thing. They think that we need to applaud for them for going through that. It's a disgrace even to them because they are adults. And as adults, you need to think as one. You don't need to act childishly. I remember, I don't know if it's Julius Deborah, he came out to say one thing he's really happy about is when he sees that both the NPP and the NDC agree on one thing.
That's nice.
It's a nice thing.
It's for the interest of the country.
Exactly.
But not for the party.
When you're in an institution, you put your personal stuffs aside, you put whatever sentiment you have aside and do the job well. You don't expect that you do the job anyhow and you expect that you'll be applauded. You will not be applauded. They are the main reason why we will continue to bash them. Yes, we should buy they be a you be do what them. And every day, wherever you pass, minority, wherever you pass, Alexander Fenyo Makin, because you are their leader. And as a leader, you have to act like one. You don't act childishly. You have to make sure that you sit in Parliament. If something doesn't go on well, you have to contribute to the growth of the economy. But these people, should I say, they've turned themselves into a kasei. They are a thorn in our fleshes. And it's really bad. If you don't do your job, you'll not be paid. So these people should not be paid. They should not be paid.
Or they should bring a rule in Parliament that
the moment you
exactly don't come back
because it's not the first time these people has boycotted.
Yeah, I think it's been happening
Why?
frequently.
Why? Only you. Why?
It's getting out of hand.
See, whether you leave, whether you don't leave, business will still go on. As yesterday, Alban Bag being said, whether you leave or you don't leave, business will still go on. So when you're in an institution, you need to be diligent. You need to be disciplined. If you are supposed to be, if you are supposed to do this at the right time. What they did, it was not the right time. You can petition whatever you have in any other time. You had a whole long from Monday to Wednesday. You had it. You couldn't do it. On that day, Thursday, and also my petition.
Petition.
They are not serious.
They are not serious.
They are not serious.
They should bring up a rule.
I even feel pity for the constituencies they are representing. I really feel pity for them.
That's very bad. That's very bad. Because yesterday in the comment section, I was like, oh, it's sad. They were like, Mama should bring a rule. There should be some kind of like regulation. If you walk out, don't come back again.
Exactly.
And then the issue was that they walked out and they are saying that they are not involved or they are not going to listen to whatever presentation that Atuforsen has to bring to them. But here lies the case. We'll be here and then they'll be pinpointing
mistakes
or criticizing.
Yeah.
So how did they get to here? So meaning that when they go home, they'll sit down and then listen to it. Look at that.
Such a childish behavior.
Wow, that was just by the way on the minority walking out of Parliament. It's getting out of hand. Yeah. All right. Let's dive into our major news item for this morning. Payroll audit flags 14,000 ghost workers. 150 million Ghana cedis in irregular payments at Atuforsen. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kisel Atuforsen, has disclosed that a nationwide payroll audit has uncovered significant irregularities in Ghana's public sector salary administration, including over 14,000 unverified workers and 53,307 separated staff still on payroll. Presenting the 2025 mid-year budget review in Parliament on Thursday, July 24, 2025, Dr. Kisel Atuforsen said the Ghana Audit Service, commissioned by the Ministry of Finance, has completed 91% of a comprehensive payroll audit across all 16 regions. So far, the audit service has not been able to identify or verify more than 14,000 workers, the minister told Parliament. He further revealed that 53,307 individuals categorized as retired, reassigned, terminated, on leave without pay, or even deceased are still receiving salaries under the government's payroll. The audit service expects to recover a minimum of 150.4 million Ghana cedis in unearned salary from these separated staff over the 2023 and 2024 period alone, he stated. Dr. Forson described the findings as alarming and stressed the need for strict enforcement of payroll validation protocols moving forward. Going forward, we will enforce the monthly payroll validation system and strictly apply sanctions to anyone who violates the process of paying salary, he added. So the 2025 mid-year budget review was presented by Finance Minister Dr. Kesalato Forson yesterday in Parliament. And according to findings, 14,000 ghost workers were detected. And these individuals are receiving salary from the government but cannot be found or verified to actually working for any public institution, meaning that they are paying these people. This suggests that the government is losing millions of cedis each year by paying non-existent employees, which is very sad, I must say. 53,307 separated staff still being paid, and these workers are either retired, they are deceased, they are dead. They are reassigned to either another institution, their contracts are terminated, or on leave without pay. And despite their status, they are still drawing salaries from the public payroll. Taxpayers' money, 14,000 workers cannot be verified. Ms. Debbie, what do you make of this?
Well, I would say it's sad, but we have to overhaul our system. We should bring in a system that can indicate if someone is out. That is, if someone is dead or one way or the other, the person needs to be transferred, or maybe the person is sacked or something. There should be a system that will actually indicate. We are still working in a system that is very, very outdated. And that is why we are seeing all these things. How can the government be paying salary to 14,000 ghost names? People who do not exist. And we still have people in this country who work tirelessly 24 hours a day. And we have 4 weeks in a month. And you work all your heart out and then you're not being paid. We have government workers that are not being paid at the end of the month. And it's very sad. Meanwhile, we have ghost names that do not exist. And they're receiving money every month. And these people, as the statement read, they are dead. Most of them are dead. Some of them are retirees. And you see, we are in a country where we have retired people and they don't even receive their money.
Mm-hmm.
We have retirees. I know of a retiree who died because he has worked throughout his years for the government. And then when it is due for him to receive his retired money, he wasn't given the money. And you see, all that, has led to a burden on him. And then you definitely will die, because if at the end of the day I still have to struggle for my own money. You deducted my own money. I didn't ask you. You said, okay, a time will come where I'll be very weak and then I wouldn't be able to support myself. So if that's being the case, then every money will be deducted from my salary. And then it will be compiled. When I go home to rest, it will be given to me. And after I'm done with serving the government for maybe 80 years or 15 years, and I still don't receive my money. Once we have people that are being paid, they don't exist. So what are we trying to say? It means there are people somewhere that are working, are doing all this. It is human beings that are going to input your name, they are going to input your data, they are going to input the amount you received. So if we have a system, now that we are in a technological world, we have AI and stuff, we should come up with a system, as I said, that will indicate if someone is dead, it's actually in like show an indication in the office of the government that this person is no more, and then we have to clear the name out. So there should be a system like that. No, it shouldn't be limited to people in only institutions, because nipa women means we are wicked. Our mind is something else. The person is not there, but for my own selfish gain, I need that money. So there is no way I'm going to prompt a government leader that this is what is going on. No, I will still allow them to be paid. Then at the end of it all, it comes back to my account. And then I wouldn't be surprised if one person is receiving like 10 people's salary. See, each and every day people keep dying. We have people dying in government institutions, and these people still are being paid. We have doctors that are dead, but it is the government that pay them, and they still receive money, but they are they no longer exist. So if we have a system that will actually indicate that this person is no more, this person is a retiree, one way or the other, then we can actually preserve it. If not, there is no way we are going to stop this. Still, we'll be hearing news of people who do not exist and they are receiving money, and they will still exist. That is it. So the truth is that we should come up with something that is going to help. My stand, overhaul the system.
And what do you think is that governments can bring on board to respond to this irregularity?
That is what I said. We should bring a system that, like, we should overhaul the system and then bring in something. As I said, we are in a technological world.
Right.
See, we are. If you go to the Western world, they are like, everything is like that. I've never seen news. You know, international news, it flies across all social media platforms. I've never seen an international news where they've got ghost names that are being paid. No, their system are very strict. They work like 24/7. They are working. They don't really stress that themselves, but the system is working. Everything is in place. Even a criminal, a murderer, can be arrested within a twinkle of an eye. But let's look at African country. We can actually use like 3 years to arrest one person, and then it's shameful that the police has to come out, the government has to come out, negotiate with the people. If you're able to get me this time, I'm going to give you money. It's not nice, and that is the only way we can arrest these people. No. But if you go to places where the system is working, Masa, you don't need anyone to be giving you money. They track the system. Immediately you are caught, and then that is it.
That is it.
So we should also bring a system here. It's not only about preaching about AI, and we still don't have any impact. AI has its own things, but we can actually also bring something. If there is no indication, this issue will still continue, and then we'll continue to talk about this. It will still remain at where it is.
Miss Regina,
Yeah.
14 workers are being paid. 14 ghost workers
14,000
are being paid. 14,000 ghost workers are being paid, and 150 million Ghana cedis. Just like that. And these people can't even be verified. Upon reasons that were given, they are either retired, they are deceased, their contract has been terminated, or they've been reassigned, or some are even on leave without pay, but still their money is going through the system. They are still on the government's payroll, and that is government losing a huge sum of money. Well, as the case, this money can actually be channeled into something, meaningful for the growth of the country. But here lies the case: this money is going into the pockets of ghost workers in our system, and that was revealed yesterday during the mid-year budget presentation. What do you make? What's your thought on it?
So first off, I believe they need to, should I say, question the directors of all these institutions, because I believe that when someone goes on leave, he or she doesn't just leave without, should I say, consulting these directors. They leave. In fact, you have to even give, I think, either 1 week or 2 weeks notice ahead. You have to present your letter that, I'm either resigning, I'm either leaving, or I'm either quitting. Any of these.
Not to cut you, but even with that, those people present their even if those, let's assume those people present their letters, maybe their contract is being terminated, instead of whoever who is in charge of record keeping to take those names out.
It's because of corrupt practices. It's because of what he or she would gain. I will still say it's because of selfish reasons. Because as I said, you can't leave an institution with just living like that. You would present an official letter stating your reasons why you are leaving. Either you are quitting your job or you need a leave. These two things. So you present an official letter to your directors, and it is the duty of the directors to make sure that they take the names out of the government system.
Right.
So these people need to be investigated. They really need to be investigated. Sometimes someone can take over a company and you will still detect wrongdoings from the past.
Yeah, right.
But what do some people do? Instead of them to report, they don't report. They rather cover up the crimes with these people. First off, nipa no ye bonino, it's a crime. And secondly, you covering it up, you're also an accomplice to crime. And you need to be arrested. These people don't need to let these people go scot-free because they've caused a huge loss to the government. They've caused a huge loss to everyone in this country. Taxpayers' money are being used to pay all these people. And at the end of the day, the money is going into someone else's pocket.
Someone else's pocket.
Someone or GP.
On GP.
Someone or GP.
Or the heading.
Or the heading. So it's really surprising. And sometimes they need to make sure that they have stricter overhaul. Because sometimes, as Debbie said, AI, in the Western world, these are certain things you can't even do. These are certain things you can't do. Ni panika se weja automatically the system na picking it in. Wa paper needing free. But just say you go through manpower job. Now I found laptop. If now shisha nipa waiting. Now you have to go through a whole lot of shit. You have to write a letter. I believe you have to write a letter to the one who will be disbursing the government workers' money. That this person has a whole lot of stress. So it's a good thing that finance minister has detected this and worked on it. And first off, it will save money for the country.
Oh yes,
it will save a huge sum of money for the country where they can direct that money into our education, our health, and even our roads and all that. And also, it increases accountability. It would increase accountability, and it will also create jobs for real workers.
For real workers.
Because for all they know, for what the government, they know that, they have 14,000 workers, and we've exceeded our budget. But not knowing, a lot of these people are ghost peoples. So when they clear or they audit it out of the system, it paves way for people who really need the job to also apply for it. And lastly, they would also gain the trust of the public. Because we know that these citizens, in as much as some of these people are illiterate, trust me, these people are very intelligent. They are very intelligent when it comes to key issues of the society or key issues of the country. You can even, something that you, an educated person, you think you know. Unim. Abrewa na kokrebi otincho be explain yama breakdown. Now when who say umpo they are all you don't really know much about it. So with all this, I think it would really help.
Yeah, and this is the government's response with regards to this particular issue. So Dr. Ato Forson has vowed to enforce a monthly payroll validation system, apply strict sanctions to any public official involved in allowing this irregular payment, and he's going to continue with the audit, which is already 91% complete, to identify further leakages. So the government is working hand in hand with these public institutions to make sure to track all of these people and validate if they are real workers in the system. All right, moving on to our next news item. Government to prioritize affordable cement in upcoming road projects. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwabena Governs Agboza, has announced plans by the government to commence a large-scale road infrastructure project. that will require substantial quantities of cement. And making the announcement, the minister issued a strong caution to cement suppliers, urging them to align their prices with current economic realities or risk being sidelined. Addressing journalists in Accra on Thursday, 24th, Mr. Agboza stated that the ministry has the capacity to direct procurement efforts towards suppliers who offer more affordable cement prices, while stressing that no company will be punished outright. He indicated that suppliers charging unreasonable high prices may lose out on government contracts. Government is about to roll out a massive road infrastructure project, which will consume a lot of cement. The minister said, "We have the capacity to direct that cement should not be sourced from sources that are not ready to reduce their prices to reflect the economic reality that we live in currently." The minister emphasized that the government prefers to work with businesses that are sensitive to Ghana's current economic conditions and called on cement producers and dealers to proactively adjust their pricing structures. "I am just giving an indication that cement dealers should take advantage and bring the prices down," he warned. "Otherwise, we may be forced to say that if we find prices reasonably priced within the context of the economy, we have reasons then to direct that cement could source from those sources." And this is coming from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. His cautioned cement producers to reduce their prices to the level of the economy. Otherwise, they have no other choice but to sideline them. So he's urging all cement producers take advantage of these contracts, because Ghana is about to, launch a major nationwide road infrastructure project. So they are doing it in such a way that everyone will also have a bit of the national cake. Let me put it as such. So as a cement producer, bring your prices down. Don't say because it is government, so you put the price here at the top so that you also go and deduct your tax. They'll sideline you if they see it as such. They'll go to other sources and then go and get their cement from them. And in my opinion, I think that's it. That's a right call. That's Regina. What do you make of it?
Okay, so I think it's a good call, as he said it, because there are some, should I say, greedy CEOs or greedy business owners who are so much interested in only money, and they don't put customers' priority on, should I say, it should be a customer's priority should be the number one thing that you should do. But these people don't have their customers' interests at heart. And as he said, they'll sideline you once they know that how is it said? Once they know that your cement is very expensive. These people would think that, oh, I buy and I add contract iba. And so the cement no cost sika bebre. You are not doing the right thing. There are even a lot of even government workers or people who get government contracts. Once they know that it's from a government sector or it's from the government, even if they are charging 1,000 cedis, they charge 5,000 cedis because they know the government is capable of doing it. The government is capable of paying it. So I would say it's a good thing, and I do agree with him. This is the time where, in fact, not only the cement operators or people who deal with cement, this is the time where every business right here in this country needs to decrease their things to the level of the economy. If the economy as it stands now is 10 cedis, decrease it 9 cedis. You still get your profits.
Right.
If the economy goes up to 20 cedis, that is where you can also increase it. But as it stands now, everything is decreased, but still people are still charging outrageous prices up till now. You wanted to buy spoon. We said Accra 20 cedis. Yesterday we asked 15 cedis. Obekwa ko bisa baby kwan. Pomeka just 7 cedis and 10 cedis. And see Accra then on also 20 cedis na lapa Kaneshi de bisa 15 cedis. This should tell you that when it's coming from the wholesalers place, it's very cheap.
It's very cheap.
Very cheap. When you want to get your profits, don't too much of what how would I even say, don't put too much of profit on it. If it's find 5 cedis, after 5 cedis too, so and 1 with 10 cedis, then you go your way. Some people go as far as putting 20 cedis, 30 cedis. It's not fair. You are being a greedy. You are being greedy, and we need to stop it. So once is it Govern Agboja?
Yeah, Govern Agboja.
Once he sees that all these people are trying to milk from the government, they need to be sidelined.
Yeah. So cement producers take advantage of this. Miss Debbie.
Yeah, so I think we are our own problem, and cement is one of the most, let me say, expensive things so far. People build each and every day.
Every day.
And I'm sure it's part of the main reason why landlords do not take it lightly with tenants, sorry. You go and buy cement, and it's like cement does not have a fixed price. You go to this shop, and then they give you a different price, and then you go to this side, it's also sell. But it has to do with Jata. They have their fixed price for their cement. If you go to another cement factory, they also have another price. And then it feels like you have to combine these two. So sometimes if you're the person that do not actually have time to be comparing prices, you just buy the number of cement you have to buy. And because of the price, people are finding it difficult of late to buy. So it's like when I get money, I go and get maybe 10 bags of cement, then I start something small. When I get another money, I have to go and buy. But it's not like that. There's been a preaching that the cedi to the dollar is now stabilized. And yesterday, when I was going home, I heard people saying, "Hey, she said, don't mind I say you." Don't mind I say you. In my mind, I was like, how? Don't mind I say, yes, it's cedi now, but from by you see? So, according to the report, the cedi is stabilized, and we all have seen that the cedi to a dollar is now, the competition is quite okay. But the people are not feeling it. We are not feeling it. Although, like, there is some kind of relief, but it's not too much. And I know that it's not going to happen like in a day. It's going to take time. It's going to take time to build upon it. But the main reason why I say we are our own problem is that the city is stabilized, but we have traders that are very selfish. We have traders that they think about their own self. And what they want to do is this. You go and buy something at a cheap price, and then when you bring it here to sell to people, you sell it at a very high. So me, I have a lot of. I don't buy something at a particular place. I want to know, like, how can you? This person is selling this at this price. I want to get to the other side and know whether it's the same thing. He said I wanted to buy something that I used to buy at 8 cedis. I went to ask in another shop. They said 12 cedis. I told the woman but in my mind I was like 12 cedis is saying something that is sold 8 cedis everywhere. You are selling it 12 cedis. Like how? How can you sell it at 12 cedis? You see, so we are selfish. We are not helping the government. The government is trying his possible best. And you know the government cannot come to your shop and bring soldiers to come and flog you for you to reduce prices. No, they can't do that. But you're supposed to bear with them. Let the people feel it that see the now back from no. We are also feeling impact. Even with the driver's car, how many of them still reduce price? Yeah. Most of them do not. You have to be quarreling with them in vehicles. One cedi, they don't want to give it to you. And it's sad. So with what he is saying, it's very, very true. You know, people immediately they say that it's the government that is coming. We have this notion. Abang the Oscar, you too much say cry then or better, because it's an infrastructure he wants to build and it's going to benefit all of us. So why increase the price so high? It will be in a level where to favor everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. So cement producers, they said if your prices are up, make sure you price at the economy level, because government is about to take a major road infrastructure and they want to purchase from cement producers right here in the country. So if your prices are high, the minister said they'll sideline you. All right. Let's speak. We have 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Let's speak about this briefly before we have the next section. So, minority petitions diplomatic corps presidency over Blekuma North revamped violence. The minority in parliament has petitioned the dean of the diplomatic corps, Mehin He, over alleged acts of electoral violence during the Blekuma North parliamentary rerun, which was held on Friday, July 11th. And that was why they walked out of parliament. Hasn't gotten to the extent of them taking it to the diplomatic level. Miss Debbie.
I wanted to use a word, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, it's very sad. Even if you don't have the numbers, you have to be present. You have to be present because you are representing a constituency. You are representing a constituency who voted for you into parliament. So you have to be present. Your number is 86. 86 doesn't mean you are not supposed to be present in parliament. You are supposed to be there to ensure that the transaction of a business goes on. Because if you feel like you want to show the NDC that yes, they have the number, so what, you are going to work up, the value is still the same. Whether you are in parliament or not, the value is still the same. You don't even add up to anything. Because now they don't, as it stands now, the NDC don't even need the MPP to pass a law. No, they don't. Because they have 2/3 of party.
Yeah.
2/3 of members, party members. And you are 86, you're not even up to quarter. So your value is just like this. Whether you stay or leave, the business will still go on. But you also have to remember that people voted for you to represent them in parliament, not for your personal gain. Yesterday I read a comment and someone was like, I saw my member of, he didn't mention his name, he said, I saw my member of parliament, empty head. He's also following them. He has forgotten that we have voted for him. You get it? So what you are doing, you feel like maybe, I don't know how they think, I don't know who is leading them, and I don't know who is advising the minority. But whoever is giving them advice is doing them more harm than good. Seriously. And you see, their chance of coming back into power is lenient. It's very, very small. They cannot. Because I don't know, as I said, I don't know how they think. I don't know whether when they do that, they feel like they're standing in for Ghanaians, they're standing in for the people. You're rather tarnishing your image. Already, and then me from the onset, I know these people, they are going to leave. I know they will leave. So I wasn't too surprised when I saw them leaving parliament. I was laughing, bunch of jokes. That is who they are. And then you went out to petition. So are you trying to say that whatever you went to petition to the corps of the presidency, it cannot wait after business is done? And you see, I know even when it's funny, when they petition the presidency, they have their phones. Thank God for social media. They are watching what is going on. And there will soon be a conference.
Oh yes.
A conference.
So you wonder, how did you hear that when you were out of parliament?
Yes. They are listening, they are watching whatever is going. But see, the minority have to keep this in mind. It's becoming too much.
It's becoming too much.
And people are getting fed up. You don't only represent your constituency, you represent a party. And if the behavior you're putting out there, then it speaks louder than you coming up to even explain yourself. So just calm down. I don't know. As I said, whoever is advising them is rather doing them more harm. It's rather doing them more harm. You should have stayed. Listen, even if you don't have anything to contribute, at least people know you are there. Comport yourself and also that. And as I said, their value is nothing to write home about. Whether they go or they stay. And recently they've passed another bill again. So whether you go or you stay, bill only they are passing, because your presence do not even count. So
in your opinion, would you say that they are doing things in their own interest but not in the interest of Ghanaians?
Yes, they are doing this in their own interest. Because if you think about Ghanaians, and then if you think about your people, I don't know whether they are thinking that it was, I don't know who they are thinking brought them into parliament. It was the people who brought you into parliament. Exactly. So whatever you do, there should be in their interest. But what you are doing, it's not in their interest. People are fed up with the minority. Oh. They are really fed up. Maybe they don't know. They are really fed up. So whatever is going on, or whatever they are doing, or the steps they are taking, and their actions they are portraying out there, is not in the interest of the Ghanaian people, but in their own selfish interest.
In their own selfish interest. Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that beautiful submission. And this is where we draw the curtains for the first 4 news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear or favor. The Minister for Finance, Dr. Kaiser Latoforsen, has announced that government contracts will no longer be awarded in foreign currencies, regardless of the funding source. The move, he said, is aimed at strengthening the Ghanaian cedi and reversing the growing trend of dollarization in the economy. Presenting the 2025 mid-year budget review in Parliament, Dr. Forsen stated that President John Mahama had issued a directive with effective immediately prohibiting the pricing and awarding of public contracts in any currency other than the cedi. To curb this unfortunate development, His Excellency the President has issued a warning that no contract involving the government will be in foreign currencies. He further reminded the public that foreign exchange strictly prohibits companies, institutions, and individuals from pricing, advertising, and making payments in foreign currencies. I'll take that again. He further reminded the public that the Foreign Exchange Act 2006 Act 273 strictly prohibits companies, institutions, and individuals from pricing, advertising, or making payments in foreign currencies without a prior written approval of the Bank of Ghana. In fact, the finance minister needs an applause. You see, things like this, it brings happiness to the soul. You know why? I cannot just imagine me living in UK and then spending cedis. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And you see, Africans, we behave in a way that we learn. You know, we learn from people. We learn from outsiders. But ours is siatra. We learn and overlearn. And then we believe like we see ourselves as if we've arrived. But no. See, we are in a country where we spend cedis. Ghana, we spend cedi, Ghana cedi. And then you go to hotels, you want to book for a night, and they ask you to pay in dollars. You go to a school, and then they ask you to pay in dollars. You go to a shop to purchase goods, and then they ask you to pay in dollars. Whilst you are in Ghana. And every day we are the same people that wake up calling on the government that the cedi to the dollar is not stabilizing, that the economy is not stable, and that the government is not doing well. Whilst we ourselves are not helping the government to stabilize the cedi to the dollar. We are rather weakening the cedi each and every day. And because I want the best school for my child, I have no option. I have to pay in dollars. But you are in Ghana. If you want to be transacting business in dollars, then I think you should move out of the country. Because this is not the right place for you to stay. You cannot be in Ghana and then be having a topmost priority for another foreign country currency instead of your own currency. Does it really tally in our minds? Now the finance minister is saying that according to a Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, it strictly prohibits companies, institutions, and individuals from pricing, advertising, or making payments in foreign currencies. We have public institutions that when you get there, you are supposed to pay in dollars. We have private schools in Ghana, you are supposed to pay in dollars. We have shops in Ghana where you are going to buy groceries, you are supposed to pay in dollars. Now when you are being caught, when you get there, you explain yourself better. Yes. When you get there, you explain yourself better. So now the government is prohibiting institutions that prioritizes foreign currencies to their own currency. No, you cannot be in Ghana and still be using dollars. So no, it doesn't work like that. I always say that when you get to airport, when you get to Kotoka airport, when you're traveling out of the country, even if you are going to Nigeria, even if you are going to Togo, when you get to Togo, you're supposed to change your currency into the currency that they spend over there. You can't get there and then be spending cedis. So no, they don't do that. And the dollar that we are prioritizing, praising, and pampering it in Ghana, when you get to the US, the UK, I'm not sure they do that there. You can't get to a shop in UK where you tell them that I'm coming to buy groceries and then you're giving them CD. If you don't take time, maybe you would be arrested. You're supposed to pay in dollars. So immediately you get to the airport, you change it. You change the CD to the dollar before you get there, so you don't find yourself wanting. And the same thing applies to them. If a foreigner is coming over to this country, you just take a critical look at the white. When they're coming over to the country, when they get to the airport, there is a place within the airport where it's basically designed for changes of currency. You will change your dollar into the CD, and that is how it's supposed to be. Every day we are crying, we want the CD to stabilize with the dollar. By the grace of God, the CD to the dollar is now having a fair relation. The CD is now getting a strength. It's going to take some time. But what are we also supposed to do to help out? Some time ago, I said that I went to a place to buy groundnuts. They told me that they don't take coins. The woman told me that she doesn't take coins. The 1 CD, 20 pesos up to 1 CD, she doesn't take it. If it is the 1 CD paper, she will take it. If it is coin, she doesn't take that. I was asking myself why. Because we spend the coin and then we spend the paper. And now you are rejecting coin. So it means the coin is no longer useful. And sincerely speaking, our coin have no value any longer. You can't use 20 pesos to buy anything. You can't even use 20 pesos to buy water. Not even to talk about 10 pesos. It has no use. Unless for 50 pesos. Because 50 pesos you can buy water with 50 pesos at least. So we are the problem ourselves. We have to realize this. And I'm very glad the government is taking such initiative. This is a forceful initiative they are taking. And I'm believing very soon they'll be using some institution as an scapegoat to serve as a deterrent to others. If in case you want to use the dollar or something, then there have to be a formal prior written approval from the Bank of Ghana. If not, when you get there, you explain it better. No advertising. No, if they find you advertising in dollars, maybe welcome to this institution and the fees you are going to pay in dollars, I'm sure you'll find yourself wanted. no advertising of the dollar, no institution. I will urge the finance minister, they should move to the hotels. And some of the hostels, some hostels in this country do not pay in cedis, so they pay in dollars. A hostel or university hostel, they don't pay in cedis, you pay in dollars. They should move to the hotels, the hostels, the restaurants. They will get people, a lot of them. It's about time we realize that all this thing we are doing, I believe we feel like we are open up to the world, but we are rather enslaving ourselves. No wise will do that. No wise will get to their country and then they'll feel like, oh, I want to use the CD. For what reason? And because the system is not really working here, and so people tend to do anything they want. But now maybe you don't know, there is a new law. If you are being caught, that will be your own problem. But let's wake up, make use of the CD. If you want to use the dollar, then you have to move out of the country. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for the grill. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina.
Today in history, Louise Brown, the first human conceived using in vitro fertilization, was born in England. The first human conceived through in vitro fertilization, IVF, was born in England in 1978. Specifically, she was born in Oldham, near Manchester, within the National Health Service system. Her birth marked a significant milestone in reproductive technology and offered hope to couples struggling with infertility. The first recorded railroad accident in U.S. It happened on 1832 near Quincy, Massachusetts. 4 people who had been invited to watch stone loads being transported were thrown from a car on the Granite Railway when a cable snapped. Dancer and suspected spy Mata Hari sentenced to death. Mata Hari was sentenced to death by firing squad on July 25, 1917, after being convicted of espionage by a French military tribunal. She was executed on October 15, 1917. The trial took place in a closed courtroom, and while the evidence against her was largely circumstantial, the prosecution was able to convince the jury of her guilt. Mata Hari's exotic dancing and involvement with military officers and politicians across Europe during World War I made her a suspect, and she was ultimately arrested and convicted for her alleged espionage activities. A 9-year-old's murder put an innocent man in jail. The body of 9-year-old Dawn Hamilton is found in a wooded area of Rosadale, Maryland, near her home. The young girl had been raped and beaten to death with a rock. Unfortunately, Hamilton and her family were not the only ones to suffer because of this terrible crime. After witnesses saw a suspicious man in the area of the murder scene, a police sketch was publicized on television and in newspapers. 2 weeks later, an anonymous caller identified Kirk Bloodworth, a 23-year-old ex-Marine, as the man in the sketch. Bloodworth, who had been in Baltimore, which is close to the victim's house at the time of Hamilton's murder, later returned to his home in Cambridge and told friends that he had done something that would harm his marriage. Prosecutors, with a little evidence other than this, accused Bloodworth of murder, During the trial in 1985, the defense presented several witnesses who said that they were with Bloodworth at the time of the murder. Disregarding his alibi, the jury convicted him and sent him to death row. For the next 7 years, Bloodworth maintained his innocence while in prison. In the meantime, forensic DNA testing had come of age. On Don Hamilton's underwear, police had the spot of semen smaller than a dime, and science had finally progressed to the point where this small amount of physical evidence could be tested. When Bloodworth attorneys were eventually granted permission to test the semen spots, Forensic Science Associates, a private California laboratory, found that it did not match Bloodworth DNA. After the FBI crime lab confirmed this test, prosecutors in Baltimore County had no choice but to release Bloodworth, but pointedly refused to apologize. Looking at some observances, this day is observed as National Merry-Go-Round. It is a day to commemorate the classic amusement ride, the merry-go-round. Also known as carousel, the day recognizes the history and joy associated with these rides, which have entertained both children and adults for centuries. Next, National Thread the Needle Day is celebrated annually and observed in multiple ways because the phrase thread the needle has various meanings. It can refer to the literal act of sewing, or it can be used as a metaphor for finding balance or harmony between conflicting forces. Lastly, Culinarians Day. It is a day to honor cooks and chefs and anyone who enjoys cooking or eating. It is a day to appreciate the art and science of food preparation, encompassing cooks, bakers, and those working in commercial kitchens. So those who eat, those who love to cook. It is our day and we need to be celebrated with food. And that's all for today. On Today in History and some observances of the day, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina, for Today in History. And thank you to my audience for doing the lesson. And thank you to my knowledgeable panelists for their informed perspective and, relevant opinion to the news stories we brought on board. Thank you so much. This is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly, and after the news, we'll be coming up with the main discussion. Please stick and stay with us.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell, our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Martin Ding said about Sam. No, on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you're a rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app on our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in, and say this what I say. Baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page. And so now listen, I bet you fire 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajai.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, Ghana to recover 150 million from ghost workers. Government confirms 4.5 billion IMF fund depleted before Mohammed's administration. Majority leader accuses minority of dodging accountability over economic mess. Government launches training for 12,000 youth as community police assistant. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. Do stay with us for the detail. The Minister of Finance, Kaiser Latofosin, has dropped a shocking revelation about the Ghana audit unable to verify over 14,000 ghost workers on the government payroll. This shocking discovery came from a nationwide payroll audit that covered 91% of institutions across all 16 regions. The audit also found that 53,307 separated staff, including those retired, reassigned, terminated, on leave without pay with a disease, still receiving monthly salaries. The total unearned salaries from these irregularities amount to a whopping 150.4 million from 2023 to 2024. The finance minister described the findings as alarming, whilst unveiling government's plans to recover the 150.4 million aimed at restoring financial discipline and accountability.
As part of the fiscal consolidation strategy, we have taken measures to sanitize public sector payroll and rid it of ghost names. Subsequently, we engaged the Ghana Audit Service to undertake a nationwide payroll audit across all 16 regions of the country. The Speaker, the Audit Service has completed 91% of the payroll audit. So far, the Audit Service has not been able to identify or verify over 14,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, again, they have identified 53,311 separated staff on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, separated staffs are staff who are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, or are on leave without pay or deceased and yet remain on government payroll. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Service expects to recover a minimum of 150.4 million of unearned salary from the separated staff over 2023 and 2024 period alone.
Delivering the 2025 mid-year budget, the finance minister disclosed that an amount of 4.5 billion IMF disbursement was spent between January 1st and 6th, 6 days before the Mahama administration took office. The spending by the previous government covered critical expenditures, ensuring no arrears were passed on to the current administration. Mr. Forson emphasized that Ghana's fiscal deficit for the first half of the year was mainly financed from domestic sources, with net domestic financing recorded at 13.1 billion, which is significantly below the 18.7 billion target. The 4.5 billion IMF disbursement was part of the net foreign financing, which stood at 2.8 billion. Despite the early year spending, he assured Ghana remains on track with the IMF supported program implementation.
Speaker, we are very different from our friends that decided to flee from this chamber. Mr. Speaker, the deficit was largely financed from domestic sources. with net domestic financing of 13.1 billion, well below the 18.7 billion target. The net foreign financing was 2.8 billion, mostly from the utilization of the 4.5 billion IMF disbursement. So, Speaker, between 1st of January to 6th of January, the IMF disbursement of 4.5 billion was spent before the Mahama administration took office, just in 6 days.
After the controversial rerun, which minority claims were characterized by voter intimidation, violence, and the misuse of state security apparatus, the Minority Caucus in Parliament staged a walkout on Thursday ahead of the presentation of the 2025 media budget review in protest of the violence that marred the recent parliamentary rerun in Ablekuma North. In response to that, the majority leader Mahama Yariga believes they fled parliament because they were aware the review would expose the wastage, thievery, and mess left by the previous NPP government. According to him, the minority were scared of accountability for the economic mismanagement of their predecessors.
I'm not surprised that our friends opposite fled the chamber before he presented the media review. It is obvious that they have been monitoring the performance of the economy, and they knew that this media review was going to unearth the wastage, the thievery, and the mess that was bequeathed to the NDC government, the abysmal performance of our predecessors. And they knew that he is going to recount the very positive steps that have been taken in the last 6 months. This is indeed the basis of the minority fleeing the chamber before the presentation of the budget. Every Ghanaian knows that the incidents that happened in Ablekuma North are not grave to the extent that a whole minority will refuse to listen to the mid-year budget, which concerns the welfare of all Ghanaians.
Majority Leader, don't tempt me.
Government has officially kicked off the training for the first batch of 12,000 community police assistants under the Youth Employment Agency initiative. The program is a collaboration between the Youth Employment Agency and the Ghana Police Service, aiming to tackle youth unemployment and boost community policing across the country. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Employment Agency, Malik Basintali said the community police assistant will undergo intensive training in basic policing duties and intelligence gathering to support local law enforcement effectively.
I mean, community policing assistance, because as part of our MOU, we have stated clearly that when the Ghana Police Service commences recruitment, the first point of contact should be from you. And so, the transitioning of you all from being normal civilians to moving into the security corridors had begun. And no one would tell me that the civilian in you is being taken out and a new phase of your life is starting up right from today.
Member of Parliament for Jirapa, Honorable Kletu Seidu Dapila has thrown his weight behind Honorable Ken Ohene Japan, asserting he is a major player in politics who should not be underestimated. According to him, Ken Ohene Japan has grassroots power, national influence, and a fiercely loyal following that proves a point against his opponent.
Right. First and foremost, there's a reason. There might be reasons why you've lost the elections. So you need to look at those reasons. And I think one of the things that they are failing to do is what I call reconciliation.
Right.
You see, and if they are not careful, That is what will still help them going into the 2028 elections. They will go into the election fractured, and any house that is divided cannot stand. And they know that, my brother knows that. You see, if you organize a congress and decided to let one candidate to steal the show, you don't need to tell the rest that this is your direction.
Right.
You understand? Yes, like he said, in their constitution, in all the parties' constitution, we don't have what we call flag bearer hopefuls. But we know the intentions of people in the party who are not small people in the party. We know their intention. And my brother knows that very well. You understand?
Right.
So if a program is organized and some purported flag bearer hopefuls are being gagged in a small corner, whilst one is allowed to move around virtually the entire stadium to exchange pleasantries with delegates. For so many minutes, he was walking around doing that, taking all the fans' applause from the crowd and all of that. This, you don't need anybody to tell you that this was the purpose or this was deliberate or not.
He said it wasn't planned.
In business, the Chief Executive Officer of GhanaTalks Distilleries Limited, John Botei, has committed to clearing the company's over 427 million legacy debt as part of a sweeping industrial recovery and transformation agenda. Addressing journalists during a media tour of the company's factory on July 24th, he said GhanaTalks is undergoing a reset that will be anchored on discipline, efficiency, and delivery. This is not just a change in management, this is a call to integrity and above all delivery, he said. He revealed that the company is currently operating at less than 14% efficiency, with some of its equipment dating as far back as 1964. He described the financial situation as dire, with debt exceeding 427 million, including unpaid taxes to the Ghana Revenue Authority, pension arrears, loans and obligations to suppliers, Maslock and other creditors. He noted that the lack of raw materials has stopped production for months, resulting in the near disappearances of GhanaTalks' flagship brand from the market. Let me be frank, GhanaTalks is facing its own challenges, like SOEs, but they are not mountable. And just under 3 months of assuming office, the new chief executive officer says the tide has begun to turn. GhanaTalks has procured 2.6 million bottles and reversed the no bottle return scheme introduced by his predecessor. The company has also resolved its eternal supply crisis thanks to what he described as the kind benevolence of a traditional eternal suppliers of GhanaTalks, and repaired aging equipment, including machines that had been idle for years. He further highlighted internal reforms, noting that internal controls have been tightened. Production has also resumed in full force. The sachet line is currently operational 24/7, positioning the company as a prime player in the government 24-hour economy initiative. Looking ahead, he outlined a 3-horizon strategy. In the short term, the company will stabilize operations through full audit, strict cost control, and renegotiation of debt with Ghana Revenue Authority, SNIT, Maslock, and other creditors. The medium-term plans focuses on growth through rebranding of key products such as Takai, reactivation of exports across ECOWAS, and revamping of the Kumasi bottling water plant. In the long term, the chief executive officer hinted at transformative projects such as the possible construction of a new ultramolding plant in the Volta region, revival of the Abosu glass factory to ensure local bottle production, and the establishment of a dedicated logistic fleet to control distribution. He also highlighted the corporate values that would underpin this transformation, We will be transparent. We will merit-driven. We will value dialogue over confrontation. We will promote gender equity and youth inclusion. We will also be aligned with the reset agenda and the international industrialization plans, he noted. He concluded by rallying all stakeholders to get involved in the company's revival. GHawk is not one person. It is not for the board members alone. It is all of us, staff, investors, suppliers, distributors and customers. We invite scrutiny. We welcome partners. We need your trust, he said. Now, Parliament has passed the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Number 2, Bill 2025, effectively removing the government subsidy on marine gas, oil, and increasing the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy on the product by 193 pesos per litre. According to the government, the move is intended to curb abuse and smuggling of associated with marine gas oil, which has compromised the fairness and integrity of the subsidy program. The revised levy is projected to generate 71 million Ghana cedis in revenue for the state. Deputy Minister for Finance Thomas Nyakon clarified that the subsidy removal does not apply to premix fuel, assuring that the supply of premix to artisanal fishermen remains unaffected. To sports, Minister of Foreign Affairs Samuel Kudzeto Ablakwa has praised Ghana's national women football team, the Black Queens, saying they have made the country proud. Ghana lost 4-2 on penalties in the semi-finals of this year's CAF Women's AFCON to host nation Morocco and will compete for the bronze medal against South Africa on Friday, July 25th. The Foreign Affairs Minister made this comment in his address at the closing ceremony of the Inter-Ministerial Games to mark this year's Ghana Civil Service Week celebrations. The Ministry of Agriculture emerged winners in the women's football competition, while the Ministry of Foreign Affairs emerged winners in the men's category, prompting the Foreign Minister to promise a special package for staff of the ministry while sharing his thoughts on the Black Queens campaign in Morocco. Black Queens Josephine Bonsu in action against Morocco. He said, "Our female team has made us proud. Unfortunately, we came to the end of the road, but I know that in the spirit of sportsmanship, in the next competition, we will do even better. So we congratulate Team Ghana for excelling in Morocco," he added. And that's how we wrap up on the morning news broadcast. I am Deborah Adoso. I will be back with subsequent news bulletin later in the afternoon. Do have a good morning.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and you say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. Not tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page, and this now listen. About your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm level bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell, our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Sam. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app on our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, ko Intakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, wading. Jajan. Hello worldwide, and I'm level bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell, our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Sam. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app on our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, ko Intakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, wading. Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, where Ghana talks, where Ghana listens. It's a beautiful morning to you on Ghana Talks Radio. My name is Pakwesi Omare, your regular host for the morning breakfast show. Today is going to be another interesting day. You know how we go about it on the Fridays, on the weekend edition. It gets so exciting, so intense, so entertaining as well, not leaving behind the educative part of it. And I'm fortunate to have all my three guests assuring me they are going to be here. But before then, they always say ladies first. So I have the lady in here who we are going to have a brief discussion on her journey about a particular exercise she partook some few hours ago before we get into the main